If you ever said, I'll be happy when or if, then this book may be exactly what you're looking for. This book is titled You Can Be Happy No Matter What by Richard Carlson. 5 Principles for Keeping Life in Perspective. An amazing book. I can't say enough about this book. I'm going to give a short recap here so you could get the most out of it in just a few minutes. He wrote Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, which honestly I didn't think was nearly as good of a book as this. I'm going to actually reread that book because this was so amazing. I'm going to read everything this author has. Richard Carlson, PhD. This guy is amazing. So the chapters are broken into principles, and there are 5 principles that are so powerful to help us get through life and be happy. Now, before I get into those 5 principles, let me break down the whole book in just 1 minute, what I mostly got out of it. Especially, like, this is for you, if you are struggling with happiness. And we all do at times. I'm getting to that more yet. Let's think about when we were children or a child. How happy are they to do everything and anything? Like, a great example is you get a child a gift, and the child plays with the box. How funny is that when a child plays with the box instead of the gift? And you might have spent all this money and you're thinking, oh, and you start to get stressed out yourself. But then you realize it doesn't really matter. Like, that child is happy and that child is playing. The point is happiness is a natural state of mind. Depression is literally just holding on to a thought that is reducing or taking away your happiness. And happiness is a natural physiological state of mind. It's our body chemistry and our mind working properly, being happy with everything. Like, look at this tree, how beautiful it is. Look at outside or inside, in a house that you're so fortunate to be in, or in a car. The point is not the things or the stuff or the circumstance, because happiness is not dependent upon a circumstance or a situation. Happiness just is. Happiness is internal, not external. And he mentions all of this in the book, in different words, of course. And it is just so revolutionary how he puts it. And you'd think, like, all of this you're going to read to get to that? Yeah. It's a beautiful story, and it helps you work through the process of what's happening in your mind. And a great example is these principles. Number 1 is the principle of thought. And that is basically that the key to happiness is in your mind. And he gives a great breakdown of the relationship of thought and feeling, and that our feelings are a monitoring system for if our thoughts are helping us or hurting us. When we feel bad, it's because we're thinking about something that we do not want to happen in life, usually the future or the past. Something bad that happened 20 years or 20 minutes ago, and we're compulsively reiterating that in our mind, and it's having us feel bad, and it has us fearful of the world. And it inhibits us from doing things. Some people could experience, and he mentions this in books, some people can experience a tragic event like a bank robbery or something like that. I forgot the exact example, but let's say bank robbery. And they end up, like, it inhibits them for like 10 or 20 years or the rest of their life to trust people, to go out, to feel safe. And other people say, it just happened. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad I'm safe. And it's amazing that you have this barometer or this meter inside of you called feelings. And when you have negative feelings, feelings of fear, feelings of anger, it's because it's giving your mind is giving you a hint and a red light flashing that what you're thinking about is not serving you. So that's the relationships between thought and feeling. That itself is like so powerful. And that happiness and sadness are a lot of times are a thought process. That we are like a child, inherently happy. We just learned how to think in this way where we are starting to not be happy anymore, right? And he gives this our relationship with thought. My thoughts represent reality versus my thoughts are only thoughts. Like, your thoughts don't make everything true. Like, just because I'm thinking the sky is orange doesn't make it orange, but I could think it enough where I believe it. That may be a horrible example. Like, I could think that planes are so dangerous, right? And never get on a plane and drive in a car all the time. But the statistics say that a plane is safer than a car. Just because I'm thinking it so much doesn't always make it true. All right, this is going a lot longer than I thought it would. So I'm just going to go over the principles. Number 1 is the principle of thought. Number 2 is the principle of moods. Number 3 is the principle of separate realities. Let me go over them instead of reading them all. The principle of moods is that we have bad moods. Simple as that. And don't make so much judgment or life decisions when you're in a bad mood, because this too shall pass. And in regards to that other people have bad moods, and just because they do something doesn't mean we don't need to hold it against them for the rest of their life. Don't be abused, but also forgive and realize that people are in bad moods, especially the ones that are closest to us. And he mentions this in the book, that when you're close with someone, like a marriage or a partner or someone living in your home, it really challenges you because they go through the ebbs and flows, different moods, and they think differently, right? The principle of thought. Or the next is the principle of separate realities, that everyone lives in their own reality. We all think so much differently, and our thinking creates our reality, because you could see some people live in a completely different world, a completely different reality than yours. A great example is someone in another country. They eat different things, they speak a different language, and they have different rituals every day. Sleep differently, they go to school differently. Completely different realities based on their thinking and the group mentality. The principle of feelings. I mentioned a little bit about this before, that feelings are like a meter for your thoughts. And when you are feeling a certain way, you could take the time and reflect and explore your thoughts. The principle of the present moment. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle talks about this a lot, and Eckhart talks about this a lot, and so do all great teachers and mystical teachers. Say that, a simple way of putting it, I don't even know if he put this in the book, but I love to think of this, is the past is where we tend to get depressed, and the future, thinking about it, overthinking about negative aspects of the future, bring us anxiety. It's the negative aspects of the past or the negative aspects of the future that when we harp on and we think about over and over again, give us a bad feeling. And that, again, reflects our thinking. So this is an amazing book. It's actually available at libraries. I got it at the library. I'm pretty sure it's probably, the whole thing is available as an audiobook online, most likely. It's an older book. It is absolutely amazing. And he mentions a few times in the book, you are just one thought away from happiness. Blessed love. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. Whole lot of content on here about feeling good, feeling happy. And you'll get notified when I drop new content. I do my best to drop a lot of new content about wellness, and I'm going to start giving reviews on all the books I read, because I read just about a book a day. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.